Hey everyone, Samantha McLean from Elite Agent Magazine. I'm here at AREC 2018 with our first interview of the day. It's Chris Helder. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks so much, Sam. Good to be here.
We are so looking forward to seeing you at the end of the day. What are you going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about influence and how we influence ourselves, how we influence other people. Obviously, in this market right now, more important than ever that we're able to win face-to-face and make sure that we're able to deliver those influence skills.
And one of the things in being able to influence people is being able to build rapport really quickly.
Yes.
So give us some tips for the people that can't be here today on building rapport really quickly.
Yeah, awesome. I think number one is research. I think we gotta, before we go into a situation, we should know who we're gonna talk to.
Absolutely.
How we're gonna do that. Once we've done the research and we know where they're at, we can get an idea, in terms of, what they do for work and a little bit about their profession, and that's gonna give us a clue possibly in terms of their personality and what's important to them. So we'll play with that. Once we get face to face, I talk about matching and again, noticing intensity of people. Some people have what I call crazy eyes, and they get that crazy eye intensity, and some people are calm. So really identifying, that we can match that type of personality, and ultimately delivering a presentation that's important to them.
All right, so let's dig into what you just said about doing some research on people. Where are the good places to research people? Like if you were going to go into a listing presentation, let's say with me, how would you research me?
I'm going to start with the basics. I'm going to start with the Google search and see what comes up and go from there. But obviously we're going to look at the property. We're going to look at the property history. We're going to take a look at the neighborhood and the area. But if I can find out a little bit about yourself, and LinkedIn is obviously a terrific way as well, that I find out you're an accountant and you work for a major accounting firm, and I now know you're probably going to be a more analytical person. I better make sure my data's together. Just going in with some smart ideas.
And what happens if you meet someone that is just completely out of your, like someone who is loud and you're say an introvert? How do you then try to match and mirror those people? The
best agents are the chameleons, and they're able to adapt to different styles, adapt to different personalities, and so I think that's really key, that they are awake, aware, and I always say, Sam, that most agents are just thinking about themselves. They're just they're flipping through the presentation, and as opposed to just noticing who's here and really being awake and adapting to that person. And the other thing I'm going to be talking about is really having the right mindset to go into these with. And I wrote a little book called Useful Belief, which is very...
I love that book.
You love that book?
I love that book.
I love that book too.
They're selling it just over there.
They're selling it just here today, which is great. In an environment where, again, we're now going to see more heavy hitters on listing presentations. We're going to have to make sure in an environment where there may be less opportunities, we've got to make sure we convert those opportunities. And a big part of it is, starting with the head and walking out there every day saying, useful belief. Opportunities are abundant, opportunities are everywhere, and to put ourselves in a situation where we have a useful belief, this is the best time ever to be an agent, best time ever to be at my organization, best time ever to be out there doing this job.
Do you mind if we just dig into useful belief just a little bit?
Let's do it.
A little bit more, because some people might not have read the book, but in the book, people always say positive thinking, but you say, no, useful belief is better. So can you just define useful belief for us?
So if you've been in a rut the last 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 months in your real estate career, being positive is not going to get you out of it, right? Instead, useful. So what's the most useful thing for you to do to get from 0 to 2? Useful actions for you to take to get from 2 to 5 or 5 to 8. And now you've got criteria. And then we extrapolate that out with useful belief. Do I believe these are tough times? If I believe these are tough times, then my brain will go find tough times. If I believe these are the best time ever to be alive in the history of the world, my brain's going to go find beautiful things. So really tapping into the brain and our filter, which is called the reticular activating system, but we don't have to go into all that. The filter that we filter everything that we see is absolutely paramount to our real estate success.
Absolutely. And one last question for you on that. Say you are having a bad day, because we all have bad days.
We all have bad days.
I'm rocking up at a listing presentation. I'm in my car. I'm in a bit of a funk because my kids have been playing up and all the rest of it. And I know that I need to build rapport quickly with someone when I get out of the car. What is my useful belief as I get out of the car to get in and do the right thing by my client?
Don't get out of the car until you're ready. First of all, I see a lot of agents, that's the biggest mistake they make, because they're still thinking about all those things. In the meantime, they're at the front door, ringing the doorbell. Take a moment and compartmentalize. I'm talking about 2 words for them: authenticity and knowledge. I'm walking out there right now to list this house I'm a real person, I'm a good person, I'm coming from a place of authenticity, and the knowledge bit is I'm a knowledgeable agent, I know the market, and by the way, the people that are neither of those two things are in big trouble. Today's about authenticity, it's about real, and it's about knowing your stuff. You must know your stuff.
Great advice, Chris. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sam,
have
awesome.
a great conference, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
It's gonna be fun, I can't wait.